Alright, should I go down the shortcut? I'm going down the shortcut. This is always a terrible idea. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, so many trees. Oh, bushes. Oh, okay. Whew. Alright, so this is motovlog number 2, and the topic today is range anxiety. I guess it's the fear of running out of battery, or not having the range to get to where you need to go. I think it's a totally different mentality thing between gas and electric. Because, so let's just say you're driving a gas car, because gas cars have, fuel gauges. Because on a gas bike you don't have a fuel gauge most of the time. Like, I guess, the big touring bikes usually do, but you just kind of have to slosh the tank around to see how much fuel you have left, which is crazy. So you're just kind of guessing, and then, the fuel light comes on and you kind of figure, okay, well, I have about, a gallon left, or 4 liters left, or something like that. And so I have time to find a gas station. And so you don't really, like, on a gas bike, there isn't a gauge, and in gas cars, your fuel gauge is kind of just, it's like this vague needle. But see, the difference with an electric vehicle is that you see these numbers, and the numbers are always counting down. And so you get this fear, like, you're still 50 miles out, and you only have 70% battery left, and you're like, oh, can I make it? You go another mile and 1% goes down, and then you go another couple miles and you see the numbers just drop and drop, and so you get this anxiety because you see these very precise calculations going on. And the biggest reason for that, I think, is because of the really long charging times. So you kind of figure, okay, well, if it takes me 8 hours to charge this vehicle, then whatever range I have is what I can do in a day. And that was the mentality, when electric vehicles first started coming out. And it's still kind of the case with Zeros, because, unless you have a quick charger, it takes about 8 or 9 hours to fully charge. The anxiety part of it is seeing this number countdown right in front of you and knowing intimately how much battery you have left. Because no matter how much range you have, it's going to take all day to charge. But in my opinion, it's way better to know the exact amount of range that you have left. And it also makes you think about the energy that you're using, how much you're using, and how fast you're using it, how efficiently you can use that energy. So it's a completely different mentality fueling up a gas bike and charging up an electric bike. With a gas bike, you would just ride maybe for a week, and then when you're out of gas, you'd fill up. But with an electric bike, every time you go home, you plug in. No matter if you have, 70% battery or 50%, 90%, it doesn't matter. You will plug in so that the next time you want to ride, you have 100%. You're ready to go. And I think that's the biggest mindset switch that you have to make from, going from gas to electric. It's as if you had, a little trickling gas station at your house, where you get home from work and you have half a tank, and in the morning you have a full tank, and so you're ready to go. You wouldn't have to go out of your way to find a gas station, or even if there's gas stations everywhere, you wouldn't have to stop. Like, I think that's the biggest thing about EVs, is that you just charge when you get home. Range anxiety is definitely a thing that I've encountered quite a few times, because there's a lot of factors that you have to account for. Like having a naked bike like the Zero, the wind is a huge factor. So if it's really windy and you're riding into the winds, all of a sudden the 100 miles that you need to go and your bike can usually make, can't make anymore. And the speeds really matter too. If you're going around town, you're going lower speed, so it's gonna drain the battery a lot slower, because the Zero is direct drive, so the speed is directly related to the RPM. So that, the higher RPM, the more battery you're using. I've definitely gotten to 0% before. Actually, last time I went to the track, I got 0% 2 days in a row, and that was pretty scary. But I found the estimated range to be like pretty much spot on. It's not like in a car where you see the needles on empty and the lights flashing and stuff, and you figure, okay, well, I don't know, maybe I have 20 miles left, and then it just dies because it's not as accurate as this. So anyway, that's my take on range anxiety. To me, it's not really a problem. It's just a different mindset. And I really believe that in the future, it's not really going to be a big deal, because anytime we stop the car, you know, with wireless charging or whatever, the car will just start charging by itself, and then we're not really going to have to worry about the range, or, you know, how far we can potentially go. With, you know, battery technology is going to improve and charging is going to speed up, so it's not really going to be an issue. Right now it's this weird transition period where it's still a little difficult to, you know, like Teslas can charge super fast and they can go super far, but they're super expensive. And so you get, you know, like for Zeros, they're slowly catching up. You know, the range is getting to be about, you know, 200 miles, and the charge times, well, with the DigiNow charger you can charge in, you know, just over an hour. So I have a feeling that range anxiety isn't going to last much longer. And for me, I mean, unless I'm doing like a really long road trip and the, you know, the range is really tight between charging stops, I barely even look at the percentage. I just, you know, go out and blast around and have fun. Again, thanks for watching, and if you guys have any more questions about EVs or Zeros or my thoughts and emotions on the electric life, let me know. I will see you guys next time.